I know David likes me to opine in the first minute and a half about NVIDIA. There is a company, let's just get this straight, SK Hynix. They do DRAM, they do NAND, they've got high bandwidth, and they were saying that NAND was weaker, and they're saying that that DRAM's weaker, not high bandwidth, but it doesn't matter. People decided the long knives are out again for NVIDIA. It was at 47, David, off of random kind of, we're going to get there, stargazer. That's what I call it. But that's leading the NASDAQ down, not Apple, for once. The main thing that people are talking about is that China has reverted to a conversation of no give without a get. We'll give you some NVIDIA chips if you buy some of our soy. It's that. And that's why NVIDIA should go up, not down. But because of this SK Hynix, I mean, when SK Hynix came out, NVIDIA immediately went down 3, and that's so knee-jerk because SK Hynix has a lot of different products. We know, and they were called NVIDIA's man in the room, basically, and that's not true because if you go to Sanjay Mehrotra, he would tell you, no, we're the high bandwidth, and their high bandwidth numbers were very good. I come back and say I like to look at how NVIDIA is doing when I look at NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is doing fabulously. And that's what people should do, and stop making these analogs. Stop doing
just
what they did with
NVIDIA.
Apple.
That's
so
it. Just buy NVIDIA.
Own NVIDIA.
Own NVIDIA because that's what, at the end of the day, all this money just ends up there.
Well, it does. And remember,
although, I mean, a lot of it, the project that they're talking about does include the build-out right now, 20 data centers. 10 are already underway in Abilene, Texas, 500,000 square feet each. So there's a lot, I mean, beyond just NVIDIA that goes into a data center.
I don't think the president's going to go with that last-minute 18 friends that NVIDIA can do business with.
No, he's going to do 18 countries that don't get tariffed.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's transaction-oriented. I don't really know what the Biden administration was doing in the last few weeks. I've been reading a lot about Woodrow Wilson in his last year.
That's great, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mrs. Wilson lived in a house I tried to buy, and I lost the bidding war.
Well,
but she was running the country, so it was viewed as the second White House.
Yes, might be a good thing you lost the bidding war for that one, because your insurance bill, as we all know, just keeps going through the roof.
He always tries to bring it back to me, and I don't mind.
No, of course not.
But I do think that
you did bring it up.
Well, because Biden put out a bunch of things at the last. I had Rusty Brazil last night.
Are we still talking about Biden? It's Trump now, and he has been awfully busy.
I was offering a bit of an historical, kind of insight.
But is it of any value to me in terms of trying to understand the current moment?
Yes, because if you undo everything that Biden did, you find that earnings per share go higher. Like the pause on liquefied natural gas, that's done. And now companies are going to make a lot more money.
Okay.
I do think that the last things that they did that were prohibitive to NVIDIA, and they gave all this money to Intel.
Yes.
Which is a punchline. But that money could make it so Intel does okay. But NVIDIA was the one that was principally being targeted by Biden in the end.
And you feel like that is no longer going to be the case?
No, I think that NVIDIA is going to be something that Trump likes.
Right.
But Jensen Huang didn't go to the inauguration. He did have commitments for the holiday in Asia. But anyway, I don't want to get too granular here, David.
That's okay. But it's not immediate. It's not right away that they have to come up with all that money. There's a couple of decent research pieces this morning sort of trying to understand where the money's going to go and how it's going to flow and how much ends up at NVIDIA and how many, I don't know how much credit
Jensen Huang's going to give you when you buy. Jensen Huang, just so you know, with this Blackwell, what people are confused about, there's 45 factories working on it, with a lot of factories, and they build it on site, then they have to disassemble it, and then they have to assemble it again, which is why you put it on trucks. And it's why people keep hearing that it's not going well. No, it's like a giant. It's like it's not just a little PC chip.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
The AI PC.
Blackwell's shipping in volume right now?
Yes, it is. Although there's outlets that always say it isn't, that means what they think that Jensen's a liar. He's demonstrated over and over again, and he's as good as he gets in terms of what I call the truth.
Tony, in looking at the holdings and your percentage ownership in your science and technology fund, no surprise, NVIDIA obviously is your largest holding, at least as the numbers I have, which may be slightly dated. I do notice Apple perhaps underweight, at least in terms of a reflection of its market cap versus some of the others. Why is that?
Yeah, I think that, I think over the long term, like I am very bullish on this AI infrastructure build out. You kind of have to build out the infrastructure and then develop the apps on it. You know, I think Apple continues to be a great company. You know, I don't think you can count them out on any means. Their ecosystem is still quite strong. I think that when, you know, my framework, we're always like adjusting, you know, positions, but I like both companies long term. I do think that in this we are in the early innings of AI infrastructure build out. NVIDIA continues to be the platform that everybody kind of is building on. And you look at their new products that are just improving the performance, you know, by leaps and bounds. And so, you know, I think that's what's exciting. And I think the Stargate news, you know, a lot of the infrastructure is still going to be built on NVIDIA because they're a full stack company. So, you know, to me, I think that's what's exciting about the multi-year here.
All right, Lauren, you're looking at some movers. Micron, we heard that once already today. What's going on?
Oh, so I'm being repetitive. Okay.
No. It was DR Barton who said buy Micron.
Well, maybe you want to buy it on this dip. It's down almost 5% at 104. So NVIDIA, you can see Broadcom, all the chip makers are considerably lower. Here's the reason. Okay. A chip maker out of South Korea, SK Hynix, a customer to NVIDIA, a partner, reported record profits for the last quarter, but their outlook was weak, and they specifically cited a slowdown in smartphone sales, and that's put a chill throughout that sector.
Okay.
And a warning from South Korean chipmaker SK Hynix, sending its customer NVIDIA, as well as a lot of other U.S. chip makers, they are lower on the session. As you can see, NVIDIA off just a little bit, Micron down 4%, Broadcom off more than 1%. These moves all come after SK Hynix posted a record profit for the fourth quarter, but warned of steeper demand declines in commodity memory chips.
Yesterday, however, we got catalyst galore. The president's data center press conference ignited the stock of Oracle, even as Oracle had already pledged to build many more data centers before this. Still, you have to assume for many people this is the first they've heard of that. We had ARM Holdings on Squawk on the Street yesterday. It's a company that designs the architecture for CPUs in the data center to go with NVIDIA's turbocharged GPUs. But we also had ARM on Mad Money last week, and the CEO, he said pretty much the same thing. So the stock went up big yesterday, and then people realized, wait a second, that's already known, and went right back. But there was one real winner yesterday, and it's one that went down. NVIDIA. If you want to build a first-class data center, which is what Trump's talking about, you have to buy chips from NVIDIA, because when it comes to AI, they're really the only game in town still. Now, NVIDIA went up immediately yesterday, but then there was no follow-through today because of an outfit called SK Hynix. It's another semiconductor company based in Korea. It reported a set of unimpressive numbers late last night. I think the weakness in Hynix had nothing whatsoever to do with NVIDIA. My conclusion, lots of people got faked into selling NVIDIA off this Hynix story. However, the big data center build-out verifies the demand for NVIDIA's products, so it's still worth buying, which was the case at the end of the day. It's still worth buying.
Please leave a like on this video so more people will see it. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.